All right. So now let's get to, we'll go ahead and we'll take it to the guy that I believe highest peak I've ever seen in a college football quarterback, and the guy that I believe should be first team all-time AP All-American, and that is Cameron Newton.
That season was freaking electric.
What? Transformer, you with me on this?
That season was electric, bro.
Yes. So to watch what he did to literally carry this team, right? Almost 3,000 passing yards, 1,400 plus rushing yards, won the Heisman Trophy, took them to the national championship. Here's where it moves for me, and I've never been the biggest Cam Newton fan. At the end of the day, Cam Newton did not have another offensive player on that team that played in the NFL.
Nope.
That's putting it on your back. That's really Superman. You know, he did the whole Superman thing. That was his thing. That is Superman, because there was not another offensive player on that roster that played in the NFL. That doesn't make any sense. Defensively, one guy, Nick Fairley, right? And he wasn't great, but he made it. You know, so to look at the team that Cam Newton carried. Now, let's say Cam Newton doesn't get kicked out of school at Florida. Do we really believe that Tim Tebow is starting over Cam Newton if he doesn't get kicked out of school? And do we really believe that Cam Newton doesn't maybe dominate to a historical level with the amount of talent that we talked about that was on that Florida team? 26 guys who played in the pros? Yeah.
You understand what's about to happen? Huh? Guess who's that? Yeah. It's not Beanie Sieg or J-Ho.
No, it's not Beanie Sieg. It's not J-Hove. It's my main man, G. And of course, it's Big B, a.k.a. Baritone, the original host of the Format Podcast, with my guys, Transformer and Sneed. Got what you need.
Yeah.
Holding it down for me for over a month while I was on vacay. And then after I got sick, these guys been doing a fantastic job. It's great to be back. What's going on, fellas?
Welcome back. We're glad to have you back, man. It's good to see you.
Appreciate it. I'm going to do the best I can.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hope. H-O-P-E. Oh, snap.
No doubt.
We got Big Bruce back in the building.
All right, pardon me, y'all. I'm not 100% back, but, you know, I couldn't hold off any longer. You know, the streets been calling me, so, you know, I had to get back out there.
Yes, sir.
On them corners, you know what I'm saying? Now let me stop.
Bruce, loyal to the game, bro. Staying loyal to the game.
There it is, man. But it's good to be back. It's good to kick it with y'all. Hopefully we have a great show today. So you know what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna talk some football, man. It is football season. We have 3 college football topics, and then we're gonna get to NFL preseason before we get out of here. So before we do all that, you know what it is. Let's go ahead and let's get to the spiel, and then we'll come back and we'll get it rocking and rolling. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast. We should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us a like, leave us a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. Make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the content we're delivering you, make sure you hit that join button. There's going to be exclusive content here just for you. Just for who, Transformer?
You're watching. We see you. We know what you're doing.
You know what it is.
Hit that like button.
Hit
that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you know when Big Baritone is hitting you with the deep voice and coming in and saying what's happening and good morning and go Irish, go Ravens. I'm not saying the other team.
See, you know what? I expect nothing less.
Guess who's Bazak?
There we go. Yo, I actually have some sound on this as well from my guys, The Odd Couple. I love that show. So, as you know, we just went over the AP All-America all-time teams. And for whatever reason, they decided they were going to name Tim Tebow as the number one, as the first team quarterback, which is interesting. So, needless to say, I disagree with that. And I'm pretty sure that the rest of the panel agrees with me there. Am I correct, or am I assuming?
You're assuming correct.
Okay, I'm assuming correctly. I'll take that. Cool. So
I'd love to rock the boat, but I can't, bro.
Right. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's hear what the odd couple had to say about Tim Tebow being the selected as first team quarterback on the AP all-time All-America team. And then we will go ahead and suggest, we will go ahead and talk about who we think should probably be in that slot and why. Let's go.
According to these voters, all 12 of them with AP, Tim Tebow has been crowned as the starting quarterback, the first team quarterback for their all-time 100th anniversary of All-American quarterbacks. Edging out a close second, well, that's how close it was, Texas quarterback Vince Young.
I wish that I could get on these Fox Sports Radio, the Odd Couple airwaves, and tell you that they got it wrong and make a bah humbug big fuss. But dang it, you ain't wrong when you're right. And they're absolutely right. You can make an argument he's one of the top 10 college football players of all time, any position. And dang it, your dag near might even go top 5, and I'm not mad at you. Not going to be able to do it. I mean, what ridiculous. He did is spectacular, especially considering he was a quarterback. Now, granted, he looked like a running back, tailback, fullback playing the quarterback position. Let me throw some numbers at you, my guy, Rob G. He completed 67% of his passes for 9,300 yards when we don't even think about him as a high percentage completion passing quarterback. 88 touchdowns and only 16 interceptions. Look at that touchdown to interception ratio for a guy that we don't think of as carving defenses up. Meanwhile, he added almost 3,000 rushing yards and 57 rushing touchdowns. He has a Heisman Trophy winner. He helped his team win back-to-back national titles. He kind of came on the second end of that as a starter. And again, he is 6th in Florida in rushing yards total. 6th at Florida, the same place where Emmitt Smith comes from and so many other backs, Fred Taylor and so on and so forth. 6th in rushing. That is absolutely crazy. 4th in all time in passing yards at Florida. This is absolutely astonishing what he's able to do. You also add in the pop culture flair. You add in one of the greatest, most iconic speeches to his team, getting them fired up. You know, he's got blood on his forehead. I mean, like, he, to me, is that guy when I think of a college football quarterback. Again, not traditional. He wasn't a guy like a Peyton Manning who's throwing the ball all pristine and beautiful. He wasn't Andrew Luck where he just looked like a prototypical quarterback. He wasn't John Elway in the sense of Matthew Stafford where we kind of went, well, that's a quarterback. You kind of knew it off the bat. But he just epitomized college football, win at all costs, whatever it takes, leader of this team. Get on my shoulders. We'll get it done by any means necessary. So I don't have a problem with it. To me, it was a no-brainer for me. He embodied what a winning quarterback in college.
You know what, Transformer? Let's start with you. Then we'll go G.
Why?
And Sneed looks disgusted. So
gross. It's gross.
Why me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Tim Tebow. You already know I don't like the Florida Gators, so I'm going to just try to keep this very, very brief.
Please.
Okay.
Urban Meyer.
Coach of Florida.
DJ,
I mean,
the music.
you look at some of the highlights. You look at the blood on his face. You look at the blood on his forehead. You just look at him, right? I think this has more to do with what do we call it? The good old boys, the typical faces of, you know, what you want your quarterbacks to look like. I think that has a lot to do with it.
He does not have flowing hair, Transformer.
He doesn't have flowing hair, but right at this moment, he didn't need the flowing hair. It was like it flew.
You don't need flowing hair when you got Jesus, bro.
You got Jesus on your side, man.
Right,
so I think your typical biblical quarterback. All right, very religious.
Wow.
You know, sways the minds of the masses, man.
Water to
Because
wine.
am I gonna take him over Vince Young, Cam Newton season, Joe Burrow's season? Not. I'm not. I can't. Like, even though, like, these guys played one. Well, Cam Newton played one season. Joe Burrow played one season. I mean, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to do it. I can't put him number one. I can't put him number one, man. I mean, yes, you could talk about the will, the power. I mean, the motivation and all that. Yeah, that's cool. But we know why he really number one. At least I know why he really number one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you kind of need a Patreon that dives into the depths of the reason why he's number one.
Oh,
because
Yeah.
it's
okay.
there's
Yeah.
reasons behind that reason
Yeah.
why he's number one. That I'm gonna leave.
I mean, he did have a great college career.
Great
he
college
did.
career, but
Right. But he
top
should
5 best players of all
I
time.
was about to say he shouldn't be top 5.
Top
there was
5.
If there was
Come
an
on, Kev.
all-time, if there was an all-time AP All-America 15, he shouldn't be on it. But that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, Kev was. He was.
Yeah. Gee, what's your thoughts, man?
Man, if we looking at total body of work, that's 4 years, right? We looking at 4 years. Then yeah, I mean that's arguably reason why he's there because he played all 4 years on a high level. He gave up everything on the field, getting knocked out so many times that when he got to the league, they didn't know if he had his head, if his head was still attached to his neck.
Right.
Just constant regard for his safety. He's reckless, but he would put his head down and try to run you over. Is he quarterbacky enough? I'm not sure. Maybe that's why it didn't pan out for him later on. But I don't know. We talking about 4 years, total body of work. I can understand that. We talking like best great seasons, like best quarterback who's done it, came in, fried the league, and then left. You have to put somebody else there. But for 4 years, 4 years, I can kind of see why they put him there.
Okay.
So you think the longevity piece is a big reason why?
Yeah.
All right. Sneak.
So they got him as the quarterback.
First team.
Right? First team quarterback. I got a lot of options that could fit into that spot that likely could be easily justified. So that's just the technical aspect of this listing. The other thing is the fact that most of his damage was on the ground. I don't care where he lines up. He was playing a lot of running back. It doesn't matter that he lines up under center. He's running the ball. He really was an effective running back.
But real quick,
just showed all those plays.
Yeah.
And the most damaging plays is on the ground. And it really doesn't have anything. Like, I saw the one nice throw to the left side against, I don't know who it was. But, like, I'm looking at guys like Vince Young who were doing both at elite level. And this guy was elite as a running back. But the truth is this, bro. And this is what Transformer was talking about with the Patreon.
Right.
Tim Tebow is the original Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like the machine behind it. He's the original Caitlin Clark.
Right.
So I'm not going to let that cloud my judgment and say I need to put him at first. I saw Vince Young play at Texas.
Yeah.
I know what he was doing. I'm just saying that there's different levels, and there's no way that Tim Tebow's the highest order. Absolutely not.
Fair enough. So I agree with all you guys. I'm not going with Tebow at all on this. But I will say it's interesting. One of the things that Kelvin Washington said when he was talking on the Odd Couple there, we don't consider Tebow a passing guy, but in college, he completed 66% of his passes. He threw for over 9,000 yards, 88 touchdowns, and 16 picks. That is kind of crazy.
That's
if
a good number.
Right. If we look at those final 3 seasons, he led the league. He led the country in yards per attempt and air yards per attempt. And he didn't play in an air raid. Right. So, like, there is a little bit of nuance there. Now, all that said, he was an elite running back as well. We saw him run for almost 900 yards in 2007 and more than 900 yards in 2009. But we also have to keep into account this. I counted him up. on his teams, if you don't include Cam Newton, because I think Cam Newton was with him for 1 year there.
2 years.
Was it 2 years?
Mm-hmm. Freshman and sophomore year.
Okay. So if you don't include Cam Newton, right? Tim Tebow he played with 26 guys who would go on to play in the NFL. Extremely, extremely talent-laden football team, right? Now, you can't take that away from him, but when you're looking at this and you're measuring all-time greatness, you have to take all these things into account, right? So it's not like he was, dragging a subpar team to championships. They were loaded. And even though he's a two-time national champion, we also have to look at it. For that first chip, he was a kind of, a trick play gadget guy, right? Chris Leak was the starting quarterback for that first one. And then he won the second one. Now, was Tim Tebow great in college? Yes. To put Tim Tebow as the number one quarterback all time on the AP All-America list is absolutely absurd. Absurd. Now, I have a couple of arguments here, and I will go with a guy that makes a legitimate argument, but I also would put above Tebow, but wouldn't make number one. Now, G brings up the interesting question, right? And we get this all the time in basketball. Is it peak greatness or is it what do you call it? Longevity. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Transformer.
Damn, I'm white now?
I guess so.
I need to flick my hair. Hold up.
Wow.
Flick my hair. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But here's the guy that we can make a legitimate argument for. And we got to go back a little bit to the mid-90s. And if anybody remembers, Tommy Frazier. He was an absolute animal. I remember, I want to say 1996 national championship game here against Florida. And he and Nebraska completely dismantled them. And this was a team that basically ran a wishbone, didn't do a whole lot of throwing. I think he was 49% completions for his career. And I think he's got like 3,000 passing yards for his career. But the guy was the consummate winner. He was elite on the ground. But he was also on a team that was loaded, right? He had Amon Green and Lawrence Phillips as his running backs. He had an elite defense, and they were just smashing everybody, an elite O-line as well. So Tommy Frazier played in 3 national championship games, won 2 of them, and won MVP in all 3. He won MVP of the national championship game in a losing effort. That doesn't happen anymore. Like, to be able to do that is insane. Look at this. This doesn't make any sense. Look at this.
Get me down.
Right. He on that LeBron. Oh,
and take it to the oh my God. You mentioned we was gonna see how long it lasted. It didn't last a day.
But in all seriousness,
not one show.
No, Tommy Frazier was an absolute beast, right? Now, are the stats comparable? No. One, because slightly different era, and 2, totally different system, right? So you can see not anywhere near the passer Tebow was, 49.5%, and 3,521 passing yards in 4 years. Not great, right? And then he didn't even rush for as much as Tebow did. But again, he had 2 elite running backs who would go on to play in the NFL who were getting the bulk of the carries. But as you could see, Tommy Frazier was extremely dangerous in that wishbone / triple option scheme. So if you look at what he was able to do in college on that level, I think you have to make a legitimate argument for him being better than Tim Tebow. So before we get to the guy that I think should be the guy at number 1, what are your thoughts on Tommy Frazier and where he stands, and should he be ahead of Tim Tebow on this list?
I mean, you just said it without saying. The man had 3 MVPs, one of them in a losing effort.
Crazy.
So my team lost the game, but I'm that damn good that I'm still the MVP of this whole game. Right? That goes to say how the man was a beast, bro. I mean, you just showed the one play. It was like 4 or 5 defenders that touched him, and he still took it 80 yards to the house. Like, come on, man. Like, kid was legit.
Beast mode.
I said kid. I mean, that man was legit. I'm calling him kid, but we're looking at college film.
Right.
So kid is the first thing coming to mind.
We're all old enough to remember here, G. You remember how great Tommy Frazier was in those Nebraska days?
Yeah.
Beast mode. Yeah. You think he should be ahead of Tebow, or you still got Tebow ahead of him based on volume of work?
He passes the eye test.
Mm-hmm.
I think the stats is what the stats is what they went off of.
Mm-hmm.
Stats.
Okay. Fair enough. Sneak, your thoughts?
It's kind of like, I hate to do this, but it's kind of like the Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson kind of comparison all over again, right? When you start looking at the MVP from last season, and even though the stats was there, we still figured out a way the eye test wasn't to some.
Okay. Sneak.
Looks good to me. I'm okay with it if you want to put him ahead of Tebow. Tebow's in the conversation, though. I mean, I don't want people to get the wrong idea and think Tebow's not one of the most prolific quarterbacks to ever play the game. I think you have to. I think out of respect, you look at the productivity, the winning. He's in the conversation. I'm perfectly good with it. But Tommy Frazier, for sure, bro. For sure.
All right. So now let's get to, we'll go ahead and we'll take it to the guy that I believe highest peak I've ever seen in a college football quarterback, and the guy that I believe should be first team all-time AP All-American, and that is Cameron Newton.
That season was freaking electric.
What? Transformer, you with me on this?
That season was electric, bro.
Yes. So to watch what he did to literally carry this team, right? Almost 3,000 passing yards, 1,400 plus rushing yards, won the Heisman Trophy, took them to the national championship. Here's where it moves for me, and I've never been the biggest Cam Newton fan. At the end of the day, Cam Newton did not have another offensive player on that team that played in the NFL.
Nope.
That's putting it on your back. That's really Superman. You know, he did the whole Superman thing. That was his thing. That is Superman, because there was not another offensive player on that roster that played in the NFL. That doesn't make any sense. Defensively, one guy, Nick Fairley, right? And he wasn't great, but he made it. You know, so to look at the team that Cam Newton carried. Now, let's say Cam Newton doesn't get kicked out of school at Florida. Do we really believe that Tim Tebow is starting over Cam Newton if he doesn't get kicked out of school? And do we really believe that Cam Newton doesn't maybe dominate to a historical level with the amount of talent that we talked about that was on that Florida team? 26 guys who played in the pros. Like, we have to look at this stuff now. Nuance, man. What are your thoughts? I don't think there's much to be said. What are your thoughts on this?
The man was a quarterback and led the conference in rushing yards and touchdowns. The man was the quarterback, led the conference. And we're talking to SEC, by the way.
Yeah.
This is the SEC. This is big dogs.
Yes.
The big dogs. You know what I mean? The Bamas, the Georgias, and all them. Led the conference in touchdowns and rushing yards.
Yeah. 1,400 plus rushing yards. I think 20 rushing touchdowns that year.
20 touchdowns, bro. While adding 30 through the air.
Come on, man. Come on, Transformer. Come on, man.
You couldn't stop. The dude was he was a quarterback with a lineman's body, with a linebacker's body. You couldn't hit him. He'll run through you. You couldn't bring a safety to him. He's going to run through the safety. You can't chase him with a DN because you just go outrun the DN.
Right. And if his receiver, beats his man, as we saw, he can deliver the football.
He can deliver the football. He could put it right on the money, right? You give him Joe Burrow, his season, he had Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, two of the best receivers in the NFL.
And that's no disrespect. We know how great Joe Burrow is.
That season was phenomenal for Joe
Clyde
Burrow.
Edwards,
But you had
Thaddeus Moss
at the running back. Yes.
Right.
You give Cam one of those guys. Just one. Just give him one.
We're looking at something insane. Yeah.
I mean, granted, it was a landslide, and when they won the national championship anyway. it would have just been worse. It would have just been at a much worse scale because now you have a threat on the outside. You got a threat deep, and then you got to worry about this big freight train running through. What he's like 6'5"?
6, yeah. Yeah.
Think about 6'5", about 250. Like, bro, man.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Bro was a train, man. That's all I got.
100 rushing yards, 20 rushing touchdowns, 30 passing.
Can I add something?
And he got a receiving touchdown.
Can I add something in there?
Yes,
what you guys are discussing. So you're talking about a quarterback who is very balanced in terms of like throwing and running.
Yep.
Right. So like, and now actually the guys we've been talking about, they're all like that. It's like legitimately the rushing and the throwing is
less so Tommy Frazier, but yeah, I get it.
Right. But you're talking about a guy that if he had like receivers, what his stats would have been 10% better, his throwing stats. He wasn't throwing as much. So like saying if he had these wide receivers, how much more would you have expected? Maybe that some extra
it's a worse threat. Yeah, he's going to throw more.
Yeah, I think.
But his guys were already open. And when he was throwing it, he was delivering it to those guys. I don't think it would have been that different. I think it would have been a little bit more prolific. You would have had a few more yards. You would have had a few more TDs on a season basis. But still, the most dangerous aspect of their game was the fact that once they got to the second level as a runner, they were putting pain onto people and still making them miss. So what does that have to do with who's on the wide receivers?
I think Cam would have run less if he had elite wide receivers.
Speculation. Well, I still think it would have been 50-50 because that's how they were winning the games. The coach is not going to deviate from what wins. The coach is going to ask them, you think that those guys were ready to throw the ball an extra 20 times a game just because they had weapons? I still think they're going to play the game the way it was.
When you have a threat like that, like a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, that just makes your offense that much more unpredictable. Because now I have to worry about this receiver. Now I got to double this guy. So that takes away from Cam Newton.
But you're talking about Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah, the weapons that he had. Yeah.
But Joe Burrow is that kind of quarterback. It's the coach's, it's his duty to exploit the strength of that quarterback. The strength of Cam and Vince, it's the dual threat. So you have to do both. If I have Burrow, I need to focus on what he's great at. That's how you would win the game.
Well, I agree that when you have a player like that, you got to do both. But where I will push back, Snead, is that you have to do less of both when you have more weapons to surround that player with. That's how I see it.
Tebow walked so Shador could run.
I don't even know what that means. I
don't even know either.
Yeah, I saw it out. See, for once, I was in the chat. I wasn't going to say anything. See, I wasn't. You always get on me about that. I was gonna.
What was that?
I have no. Because what's it? King of the Chat earlier said that Vince Young walked so that Cam could run. Right. So, now I don't know what Clint Moses really. I don't know what he's referring to, but
yeah, man.
Yeah,
maybe it's at Steve. Who knows? Who knows?
Okay, so let me ask you guys this before we open the lines up. Is there another quarterback maybe I've forgotten that you guys think should be at that QB1 spot on this all-time All-America list?
No, you got mine. Cam Newton was definitely mine.
Okay, so I'm
Cam Newton as well. We're going to put Cam Newton off of the one season?
Yes. Yes.
If I want to talk, because it depends on how you want to define the longevity. Or
it's just a college career,
right?
That's all this is. So a 1-year career.
I'm looking at best for me. Best.
Yeah. I'm thinking best quarterback
is the best quarterback that I ever saw in college.
Okay, how many times was Cam Newton the best quarterback in NCAA college football?
You only needed the one.
Right, one.
So if a guy was the best college football quarterback, and did it like 3-4 times and was as dominant as Cam Newton at least 1 or 2 of those times. You guys don't
who was as dominant as Cam Newton?
Vince Young.
He only one season.
But that's what I'm saying. He's got.
And he also had more help. Like
yeah.
Jamal Charles and like.
When why does? Help, I think. Why are we? Why are we doing that though? Like the teams are playing, the teams are winning, and winning is part of the team achievement.
I think when you can do more with less, it shows your greatness. More so. I'm a believer.
His numbers are less. He averaged less rushing yards that season. He averaged what? 100 more passing yards than Cam Newton his season.
Okay.
I'm just saying we don't need
Cam blows him out of the water.
I'm just saying we don't need to dismiss Vince Young's.
I'm not.
Because a lot of the same things you guys are describing, Vince was doing.
Right.
It's really close. Like I'm picking Vince. I'm not taking Cam Newton. I'm putting Vince there.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Vince did it I think Vince did it better. I think Cam did it better for the 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but Vince
only did it 1 year. Vince wasn't that great for all 3 years.
He was a champion, right? He got the Rose Bowls. His performances are prolific. He has a lot of the same things that Cam Newton did for the 1 year. You guys are giving it to Cam for the 1 year.
Right.
You're giving it to Vince for the 1 year. Vince only had one true good season.
Vince has a body of work, so we can look at his productivity. His 30 games, which if he would have played another season, then it would have looked a little bit different. But he passed the ball quite a bit. His completion percentage was decent. It was 62%. It's not like Tebow 66 or whatever, but I mean, it's still fine, bro. He had 6,000 yards passing. You're acting like he only played one season like Cam Newton.
But it was only one season like Cam Newton's.
But that's what I'm saying. Point. If he's got a season like him, they're not as far as you're saying they are.
They are. Cam was the better runner. Better throw. What are we talking about here?
Vince was a good runner. Vince was a good passer. Vince has the Rose Bowls. Vince has the national championship. They're not that different. Fine. Cam Newton's one is a little bit better than
that's
Vince
all we're
Young's
saying.
One. But it's not just 1 year though. This is careers. Look at the guys that were on the first and second teams at all the positions. It's more than one season.
So you're taking career appeal. Me and Bruce is taking one. I got one guy, better quarterback.
But is that the proper way to do this? Is what I'm asking.
It's our way. There's two ways to skin a cat, bro.
Yeah, I think that
there's 2 ways to skin a cat.
Again, this comes down to the same thing that we always get to when it's sports. Is it longevity, body of work, or is it peak? And I think when it
says all-time AP list.
Yeah, but I think when
it doesn't say best college seasons ever.
And none of those guys then keep it at Tim Tebow. Then they're right.
And then
I don't even know if they're. Yeah,
but then they're right. If you're going by your logic, then they're right. Tim Tebow should be the best.
If we're going by logic, then it is Vince Young. Then it
how? He only has one season like that.
Why do you keep saying that?
Pull up Vince Young's numbers.
Complete college career.
3 years,
multiple seasons.
His first year, he has 1,100 passing yards. Am I supposed to be okay with that as a quarterback? No.
I mean, what do you want him to
1,100?
What do you want him to have?
1,100 passing yards.
Well, what did he have the following year?
1,800. Is that good?
What did he have the following year?
3,000.
So we have a guy who's
progressing to be better, but then all 3 years he wasn't that guy.
But his best season is similar to and as good or close to good, say, is like Cam's or Tim Tebow's best season. He got national championship. He got Rose Bowl victories. He's got all the really good numbers. When I look at it collectively, he's in the conversation.
Well, if you look at it collectively, Tebow did the same thing that Vince did in 1 year 3 times.
But I have to play what if Vince Young played a second or a third year as the guy. No, I'm saying if I do that, then I'm like, okay, well, Cam Newton would have been the best regardless. But I mean, Vince Young's in the conversation, bro. Like,
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying that.
For my eye test and statistical production, and again, I have to take into account that he just didn't have it around him the way some of these other guys did. For me, that makes Cam Newton, whether it's 1 year or not, the best college quarterback I've ever seen. And I'm still relatively young in this discussion, so maybe it's somebody else. But for me, that's how I see it.
Like, here's Vince Young's best season.
Differently.
Here's Vince Young's best season.
Okay.
He wins the national championship. They go 13-0, perfect season. I mean, that's a lot of that Tim Tebow stuff. It's very, very similar. Heisman Trophy, like all these things.
Never won a Heisman. He didn't get one.
No, Vince didn't win a Heisman.
Nah.
First team All-American. He didn't win the Heisman.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought he won it that year back in what was that, 06?
The year he beat Reggie Bush?
05.
Reggie Bush got it in 06?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I'm going Cam. But like I see your argument, but I'm going Cam. Let's go ahead and open up these.
No, Vince is definitely up there though. That's for sure. Vince was
right.
I mean, you had to beat Reggie some goddamn how.
Yeah, Reggie. Like, we kind of knew Reggie was going to win it all year. I don't know how Vince was going to win it.
Yeah.
Now that I think back at 06, like, that was some crazy Reggie Bush buzz, bro. Every time you watch, remember we used to watch ESPN back then, right? Like, the independent YouTube space was not a thing. So, like, every ESPN highlight reel was Reggie bringing it back. He'll
go one way. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, they're that way. I'm going back the other way.
And
defense to the edge, dude.
You remember when they used to do the speedometer and they'd get him going like 23 miles an hour on
clocking, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
aircraft carrier. We already referenced it that he got kicked out of school in Florida. I don't know exactly what that has to do with the discussion. But all right, let's go ahead and we'll open up the lines, and we got King of the Chat, Steve, waiting to speak. Steve.
King Steve.
I'm back.
Yes, sir.
So I think we can all let's have a beginning truce. We can all agree it's not Tebow.
Yes.
He's in the discussion. I think I would have him, if I were to do this in a top 5, I would have him at 5. He's in the discussion, but I would have him at 5.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Now, I want to dive into this because this is kind of where I was interested in, and I like where it went. So I'm Team Vince. I would put Vince number 1. I can understand the argument for Cam, and honestly, I would have Cam 3 behind Frazier. And this is where I'd say, where it's it sounds hypocritical, but it's yes, I'm going to hold the longevity against Cam. And a lot of it was his own doing, where it's I'm going to give the advantage to guys like Vince and Tommy Frazier, who have more, they have more of a sample size that we could see. And yes, I'll happily say I'll hold the longevity. Not that I'll hold the longevity against Tebow, but I don't think it matters as much when you factor in that his freshman year, he really didn't play and he got the benefits of being on a national championship team. And it kind of gets thrown into his legacy where it's he really wasn't the guy his freshman year. And why I would go Vince is because, and Twizzler, you're my guy, but this, he did it more than 1 year. He won back-to-back Rose Bowls. The guy was 30-2 as a starter. So it's not it was the same as Cam, where it was he played multiple years, but only had that one crazy awesome year. Cam only had 1 year to go off of, and it was crazy awesome for sure. Grant that. But the way Vince did it, it's man, how do I want to say this? I give Vince the advantage because, 1, yes, longevity, I think, goes in his favor. And 2, what Vince did at the peak, meaning beating USC, the team that was unbeatable at the time. That USC team was the 2000 Miami team. What Vince did in the biggest moment against the best of the best, against the guy who won the Heisman and Reggie, you could clearly see who was the best on that team. Nothing against Cam. He won the championship, but him beating, I believe it was Oregon, him beating Oregon is not even comparable to what Vince did in that Rose Bowl against USC. Now, that's not to say that Cam isn't in the argument. I have him 3, but I do think the longevity kind of does go in to account against Cam when you're comparing someone like Vince and Frazier.
Hold on, Steve. Steve, 1 second.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to use the term longevity. We'll just say multiple years.
For sure. Okay, fair.
I don't even know if you can have longevity in college because
fair.
you can only play for at best 5 years, right? Like,
no, what's the one guy who played 7 years?
Yeah, but that's only because of those COVID things.
We use the term longevity, relatively speaking, for college.
Right.
So,
but it's not long to do something 4 times is not longevity.
No, but in terms of college football,
in terms of the college. So we know there's a definitive end to the collegiate career within this time frame. Like, I agree with you. I like hampering down on linguistics. Like, I agree. Like, we should hash these things out so we're all to an understanding. But I think we can all agree when we're saying longevity, it's within this parameters of a college career. Like, there's a start and a cutoff. It's not like pros.
Right.
But I would agree. Multiple seasons, I'll even clear up. Like what Cam did in multiple seasons, I would give him the edge over someone like Cam, who, again, nothing against him. His one season that we saw was insane. If we were to say if we were to clarify this as like the greatest season, then I would understand the Cam argument a little bit better. And I might even concede we're like, Cam's
but all those guys, Steve,
quarterback.
But Steve, all the guys on the first team, Ndamukong Suh, like Archie Griffin, there's not one season for these guys.
Right.
So we're gonna move the goalpost.
Distinction is, and I would agree why I would say Vince over Cam. But if we were to hyper specify and say this is a one season peak list, like the best season per position, then I would say, okay, then I think Cam. You could argue Cam over Vince, but given the body of work, I would go Vince.
Parts of these lists would change, by the way. There would be players moved around.
For sure. Yeah, it would change things up. But I think we can, again, let's all get back on the same team again. We can all agree that it's not Tebow. Tebow deserves credit. I can even, like G was mentioning, I can understand why Tebow's based off the eye test, I wouldn't vote for Tebow, but based off of the merits, the statistics, the multiple seasons of getting it done, I can see why people vote that way. But like when you're talking to guys who watch ball, it's like nobody is going to take Tebow over Cam Newton, Vince Young, Tommy Frazier. I wouldn't even take him over Burrow. Yeah, I wouldn't even take him over Burrow.
That Burrow season was insane.
It was insane. Steve, before we let you go, man, I'm going to ask you this real quick. So I don't disagree with most of what you said, but the players around him doesn't mean anything to you? Vince Young had 22 guys on his team that went to the NFL.
I would agree.
Tebow had 26. Like, come on.
I would agree. I think that's a factor. But the way I guess my counter to that would be the team, like, okay, I would agree. During the regular season, what Cam did with the lack of NFL players around him is it's amazing. We'll probably never see something like that again. But where I guess my retort would be, do I think Cam playing that Oregon team and winning a championship is as comparable as Vince beating USC in the competition that he faced against USC? I would still say I think what Vince did was more impressive to like cement his legacy as this quarterback, similar to Cam. Like Cam getting it done and winning the championship is what cements him in his legacy. Similar with Vince, him beating USC, given that he had more around him, but he was facing way tougher of opponent in that USC team than Cam ever faced playing Oregon. And I'd have to go through that SEC schedule, which I'm sure Alabama that year was loaded, and him coming back and beating Bama, you could argue, hey, Steve, well, he beat Bama in the SEC championship, and that Bama team was loaded. So it's like I'd have to concede there. But I agree. Like, I definitely think there's merit there, Bruce. I think that's a good argument piece pro Cam. But for me, it's just like, man, this is going to sound illogical because it's not based on anything. But it's like, dude, my eye test, Vince was just different.
Okay.
And I can't say that.
With Cam, so.
Yeah, I can't say that goes against Cam because you could easily say that for Cam as well. But I'll always be Team Vince. What I saw in that Rose Bowl, I was like, this will never be done. Like, this is like peak performance in the biggest moment. But
all right,
I don't want to
Steve,
take
we're going to leave it right there, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the call, man.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Archie, that was Julio Jones, Alabama, Eddie Lacy, Trent Richardson, Mark. Oh yeah, that was a loaded team.
Real quick, Bruce. RG3 2011, 4,300 yards passing, 47 TDs total, 37 throwing, 10 on the ground, 72% plus passing percentage, 700 yards rushing, won the Heisman, 9-3 season. I think it's probably that regular season finish that keeps him out of these discussions because they didn't win like the other guys won national championships. Right. That's really it. Because he won the Heisman that year. So RG3 had a huge year.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great one. The Mongoose. That was the Mongoose.
That's Bruce.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah.
Good morning, boys and girls.
Here's the girl.
How you feeling, Bruce? Man, you feeling better, brother?
Maintaining, man. I'm getting there. Thank you.
Oh, so. How you feeling, Gene?
Here, what's going on, bro?
My man. Hey, I would say this about Tim Tebow when he was playing at Florida. To be truthful, he was fun to watch. I'm gonna be real. I mean, you may not like it. Them putting him at number one is, their opinion. I guess is also subjective. I guess it's kind of cool. I mean, Tim Tebow was like one of the most exciting college college football players ever. I would admit to that.
Agreed.
He most definitely was, like his image, everything, the perfect guy image, and the speech and blood, and he was tough as nails. Now, don't get it twisted. He was tough as nails at Florida. He wasn't soft.
Just like Caitlin Clark.
So definitely give him respect for that. They got him number one all time. I mean, hey, everybody had their opinions. I guess they don't make that as a fact. Okay, now you said Cam Newton. That's one of the best I ever seen too live. Auburn was unranked that year coming in. They wasn't ranked in the top 25.
That's big.
And how they walked that down. Man, listen. I will say this. That game against Alabama when he came out that second half, that's probably one of the greatest. In my opinion, the greatest college football game I've seen. Alabama had him beat. In the Iron Bowl, I had him down like 3 touchdowns. He walked that down. So for them to be unranked at the beginning of the year and walk it down to number one, I mean, come on now. You got to give it to Cam. But, y'all might call me being biased. Lamar's Heisman year, the best I've ever seen all time. That's why everyone like, come on here and disrespect Lamar Jackson on here, man, when he was at Louisville. He almost won it back to back. If you go to Steve, look at his Hall of Fame year stats, real quick, Sneed, if you can. Pull it up. Just real quick. I ain't gonna stay on here long. I ain't gonna talk out of death. Lamar Jackson, Louisville Heisman year. And he almost won it back to back. 16 and 17. He was nominee. I think 16. It was 16? Yeah. 16, 17. Lamar Jackson, Louisville. Let's go.
17, yeah.
Listen. Yes, Cam did his thing at Auburn, and he won the ring. He got the trophy. There's no way. If you look at Cam highlights and look at Lamar Heisman highlights, nowhere close. Nowhere close. Tommy Frazier, no one. Nowhere close to those. Look at Lamar Jackson Heisman highlights. No, ain't nobody nowhere close as that.
Yeah,
it's talent.
Hold up.
Nowhere close.
Hold up. There's
look at Lamar Heisman year. Is you crazy?
There's other quarterbacks with better statistical seasons than Lamar Jackson.
I'm talking about eye test.
Eye test? Okay. All right.
Let's go eye test. Nowhere close, man. I mean, I don't mean, you'll call me biased, but hey, yes.
He lost against Clemson in the He lost.
But it's my opinion. Well, it's my opinion. Got hold any validity?
Yes, with you.
With me. All right, man. I'm gone, man. I'm done messing with you. I holler at y'all boys, man.
All right, brother. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, Lamar had a pretty damn impressive season. He finished with 3,500 yards passing, 30 passing TDs, 9 picks, 1,500, almost 1,600 rushing yards, and 21 TDs on the ground.
Yeah,
won the Heisman. Yeah. Didn't he like flip over someone in college like to get into the end zone?
Was that the Florida State game? I think so.
I think Syracuse, but
okay, I think
bro, he was
Florida State that year. That was insane.
I still to this day believe that Lamar Jackson is one of the biggest overachievers in NFL history. They just didn't think he was going to be.
I don't think he's an overachiever. I think it was always there. They just didn't. They didn't.
Nobody believed it though. Like in terms of like GMs, in terms of
they wanted him to play running back and receiver.
Yeah,
because like bro, you're fast. We just want you to play this position. We don't believe you're not good enough quarterback. Yeah. And here we are today, 2 MVPs.
That's crazy.
You know,
how could that be so far off? How could that be so far off, bro? 2 league MVPs, and you were telling him to go to running back.
Telling him to go to running back.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of
cool. Oh, was it receiver at Crack Every?
Oh, it was receiver. Yeah.
Okay, receiver. There we go.
Yeah. That's
still
crazy.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to throw. I'm the one catching the ball. What? No, I'm a quarterback. Let me show you something. 2 MVPs.
And credit to John Harbaugh, who's like, yeah, we're gonna do this. You know?
Stay patient with him, and then he's doing it without like your top 10 receivers, right? Like like Zay Flowers is a nice receiver, but
right.
The Ravens roster was never bad.
Never bad.
It was never bad. There was always talent there.
Right.